The following program is a real estate and mortgage show and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good morning and welcome to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy, Jackie, and Anthony, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is yourhomeyourmoney101@gmail.com. And now, right to your hosts of Your Home, Your Money, Randy, Jackie, and Anthony.
Hello all.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Happy.
Yeah, I'm just looking and I'm wondering why you don't have microphones to match my outfits.
Oh, we'll work on that.
Thank you. I'm looking and I'm like, I'm in all blue and I got this black microphone.
Yeah, but
What's your
what about
favorite
your
color?
hair?
Come on, Mike, we need cases or something.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's
What's
see
your
if we
favorite
can
color?
find cases, and in every color I wear, we just plop it on
You
over.
can't see it. Oh, that
Are
now
you
can see
really
it.
that vain?
I'll get it from you. My vainness comes from Mr. Rodney, who was singing Short People song this morning. Yeah,
Yes.
so...
Is that bad? It's a historical song, isn't it? Can I get canceled for that?
Yeah, from me, you can get canceled. So I don't know how much you care about that, but yeah.
Cancels for anything today.
You know what? Do you really care?
Being canceled?
I mean, I think it would be a badge of honor in many ways to be canceled, given the current
What?
climate.
It depends on what. If you have your own business where it doesn't really matter, it's fine. But if you work for somebody
And then you get fired.
then you're kind of screwed.
Then you got nothing going on.
Well, then you could, yeah.
You're not going to labor board. you screwed up.
And you know, a lot of this stuff is just really silly stuff. It's just really silly. Like, someone said, who we were talking. Oh, yes, it was a group of
Do
kids,
you remember?
including my kids, and
you
they were
remember?
saying how it's not. It's like really bad if someone uses the N-word or they, or they say something that you don't like or whatever. And white people can't use the word, black people can, and it's okay. And all this stuff, all these protocols that are out
But
there.
if it's a bad word, why would you, as a black person, want to use it anyways? Why?
They just do.
I know, I'm just asking
it's
a question.
To be cool. It's like
How is
swearing
it cool
is
when it's
cool.
derogatory
Right.
on your race?
Because
How's
you
that cool?
you are bad. You're bad, so you can say
you're
bad
dumb.
things, and then that's cool. That's just it. Especially
It's
if
dumb.
you're.
It's like me going around calling myself a honky. Like, come on. Like I just wouldn't do that. Or what do they call
it's
it? A
different.
munchkin or a cracker. Like, I just wouldn't go
A
around.
munchkin? I never heard that one.
Munchkin.
Is that small? Small.
I thought it was a mungie cake.
No, is it a mungie cake? I don't know. My friend used to call her. She was Italian and her husband was white, and she used to call him that. I don't know.
I haven't
But
heard that one.
I just think it just makes no logic at all.
It doesn't have to make logic. It's what it is it's just like, the people who go around just cussing and swearing. I know
And
there's
people-
times that I use those words.
People aren't logical. If they were logical,
Yeah,
nobody
we're not
would,
logical.
nobody would smoke because it doesn't make any logical sense to smoke.
That's true. That's true. And if we were logical, we would probably all wear the same clothes. We would all wear the cheapest clothes that you could possibly buy. But we don't do that. We would probably all drive the same vehicle. We'd all
But you're
drive the
extremely
cheapest.
logical.
No.
You're like, this is your logic and this is your emotion.
But the thing is, see, some people are more logical than others, but we're talking about as a whole. Like, I consider myself more logical as well, but we're still also emotionally driven as well. Like
Yes.
yeah.
Often, as human beings, actually, we use logic to justify our emotions. So first we feel something and we want that, and then we look for reasons to justify it. So we look for the logic afterwards, and the emotion is the first thing. You know, just the way kind of that we are. But as I was talking to, it was my children and others, and they were just saying that, you know, how you're not allowed to, like even one, you know, actually two of them were gay, even you're not allowed to sort of talk about that. You're not allowed these things. And I said, well,
They never said you're not allowed to talk about
Yeah,
it.
they did.
There's certain words and phrases you shouldn't use.
You were not
Gay,
even there.
I was, and I know
you
what
weren't.
you said. I
Okay,
know
wait,
what
wait,
the
wait.
controversy
No,
was.
you weren't. You were in the backyard. Anyways,
Sorry, what do you mean talk about what? Being gay or?
you know what? To be honest, I kind of sloughed over the whole thing because I don't live by all those rules. I see life very differently. I see it that if somebody wants to come and call me the N-word, then that tells me who they are. And that just means that from this day on, I will probably not support that person in any way. And I would rather that than for them to not be allowed to say it, but to be thinking it. And this was my thing, is that, you know, if you have a baker and that's who he is, then let him be proud for who he is. And then for us, we don't support that baker.
I know, just to kind of jump on that, I had a neighbor who was racist, let's call it as is, because like, at first he moved in, he was the nicest person ever.
We got one too.
Yeah, nice person ever, like, offering to do stuff for me, and I'm like again, we're nice. And I don't know what set him off, like what I did, but I came home one day and it was end this, end that, and I'm
Whoa.
yeah. And I was like, okay, good to know.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And you're like the nicest person.
So like, I guess it's just kind of what Randy's saying. Like, he has young kids, and like me, I'm like, no, okay, like my kid's definitely not going over there. Like, I'm like, that's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I want to know. Now I know.
Now I know.
You showed me who you are. Thank you. So now I can act appropriately, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna do anything untoward to him.
Exactly.
I just know, you know, this person, he is how he is for whatever reason. Who knows what happened to him in his life? I don't know. Maybe he has a justified. I'm sure for him it's justified.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But I just know now, stay away from this guy, because who knows what he's gonna do.
I don't want
Well-
him put in jail for humanitarian issues. I don't want any of that stuff. What I want to do is keep that guy away from my family.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, if you're
And-
white, you can't really say anything.
Well, that's a whole different thing.
What do you
And
mean? That's a whole.
It's a whole
it's a
different
thing.
thing. It's a bad thing, but it's a whole different thing.
Because everything we say is an issue. But everybody else can say whatever they want about the white race. Let's be real.
You know what that is?
We're horrible people.
That is exactly what we faced. How many years
So
ago?
why aren't we ending it? We're not the
Because-
ones that did all that.
I believe it's because we as human beings are inherently evil in certain ways. We want to hate. We want to separate. We want to do it. I was watching a clip from The View, and the clip was this lady, Sunny, who's absolutely beautiful, but her mind is just, I feel so bad for her, the way in which she thinks. And she got such great pleasure out of talking about the fact that Donald Trump may go to what they call Rikers Island. And not only did she get pleasure in it, but the crowd clapped. And I just, and I was just thinking, this is exactly what you're talking about, how, white people are evil and this stuff. And then, and it's supported and it's okay and it's praised, as a matter of fact. I say it and I'll say it again. It's just like the days where you point at the witch and then everybody grabs that person, ties them to a stake and burns them. And it's that evilness that's within us that we actually I don't know if we can help it, and it surprises the heck out of me. I grew up part of my life in Lindsay, Ontario, being one of the only black men out there. There was another gentleman, I think he was in Fenham Falls, or Bob Cajun, who I did not meet. Tony Gray was also a black man. His father was a great boxer.
How did I know you remembered that?
And so, what do you mean? Because
Like the
I lived it,
names. No, but the
sweetheart.
names.
Because his father was famous.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so the thing is that I was always like the N word was nothing. Jigaboo, spook was nothing. You would never catch me eating a banana because I had a complex again. I didn't want to be considered a monkey or ape or whatever. And so it was really bad, but there were also lots of people who were really, really supportive. And coming from that environment, I would never want to wish that same hatred on another race, be it white or Chinese or Indian or whatever you want to make it. There's a new one coming in from somewhere, some new race, and so let's all gang up on them and hate them. I would never want to inflict that on anyone. So I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't get it. And I mean, there's a lot of things to me that are very confusing these days, but it just is what it is. Let's, it's the last day for the giveaway. They're going to give you a website, but this is what I want to tell you. It is, and remember we were talking about our giveaways now are going to be different. They're going to be local, community hero programs. So for local businesses where we're promoting them. And this one is called Drippin' Lux Medi Spa. They're having their grand opening today, and there's a $250 spa day getaway that you can win, and or because Father's Day is tomorrow, and that's a fantastic day, probably one of the best days of the year, the fathers could win an 18-hole golf game for two with a cart. And you're going to get some free little food, wings and stuff as well. So that's also a giveaway at Harmony Golf Creek. And how do you pull up that thing?
So
how do you register to win?
Go to yourteampros.com/giving-back.
And register. And you could win either the golf day or the spa day.
And going forward, we're going to be putting out the magazine where there'll be other contests that we're going to be doing monthly. And for people in the Oshawa area, they'll actually get a small magazine come to their home via postal,
Local,
Canada
yeah,
Post.
Canada Post,
So-
local community hero.
So if you're in the Oshawa area, you can look forward to getting that, which will give you some real estate news, some coupons, some gift cards and that you could win, or that you can just walk into different businesses and get discounts, because we're partnering with a lot of businesses. We're sponsoring the businesses and trying to help out the small mom, pa, and I guess the bigger ones as well. Keep their doors open. That's our new thing going forward.
And try to keep the money local instead of sending the money away to Facebook and those marketing channels. We're trying to keep it local, spread it to the community. I think it's quite neat.
I'll start with the ones and go with the ones. All right, so we have some emails to go through. A few from today and a few that came in a day or so before, which we'll touch on. From earlier today, from Shane. Shane says, "Hey, we love the philosophy part of the show. Good job. P.S. Your kids sound like that. Your kids sound like that. Like they are left-wing whack jobs. No offense. So I'm not really sure what you're. Maybe work on the English a bit and try it again. Your kids sound like that are whack. Okay.
Whack job liberals.
Sound like they are left-wing whack jobs. No offense.
All right.
I'm going to
Take offense,
I'm
aren't
going
you?
to take offense to that.
Yeah,
And-
a huge. It's his girls.
And on top of taking offense to that, I'm going to agree with it.
All right, there you go. And we got one more from. Well, no, a couple more.
They're left wing. They're total left wing. I mean,
They're woke. What do you want?
Yeah, and I do want to say this, and this again
But
is,
they are amazing human beings.
They are
They love
absolutely
people.
incredible
They help
human
people,
beings.
especially seniors. My oldest daughter is giving back constantly through her work that she does. So yeah, I mean, they believe in this whole woke thing, and
the woke thing. They believe in Save Palestine. I believe in Save Palestine too, but I don't believe in Save Hamas. And if you know, they were given this land, and
we're
instead
getting off topic now.
instead of using the land to do good things or whatever, they use it to build up a revenge to be able to go and wipe out Israel. Like, come on.
Hold on, I want to say one thing though.
And our kids are.
Who are we to say someone else is a whack job? Everybody's entitled to their
I'm
own
not allowed to
opinion.
say that.
No, I'm just saying though.
You just can't say
Can I
wacko
finish?
or you'll get kicked out of Parliament.
You know what? Listen though, like everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody should be allowed to live their lives they want to live. They're not, as long as they're not harming anybody, who cares? That's the human race. Love everybody. I don't know. That's just
You're not
my
going to
take
love
on it.
everyone. It's not going to happen.
Show compassion to everyone then, however
Okay.
you want to word it.
Try, but you know, the days of what was it, the 70s, 60s, late 60s, 70s, where it was all peace and love and make love and all that stuff in the streets, back in those peace and love days, that's not even acceptable anymore. So the thing is, we're different. We're different. Life is kind of a little harder. World has changed. Our children typically don't really even like leaving the house. They're
They don't
concerned
very
about leaving the house. They're concerned about going certain areas. Whereas when we were young, we were running all over the place without guidance, and we would leave the house and basically come home to eat and then leave the house again and come home at dark, and that was it. That was how we lived. Today it's not like that. So life has changed, and while I do kind of partially agree with when they're like with the Palestine thing that we just don't want war. And I agree with that. You know, anybody dying is just not a good thing, especially for the dumb causes that we usually have war. However, I think in this case it's a little bit different because you went in and you killed people and raped people and kidnapped people. And that's just not acceptable. And I don't think we should be accepting that kind of culture. And I believe that that was a big part of their culture. I don't really know. But that's my views, which is the opposite of my kids' views.
All right, good.
Anthony.
All right, so we got one from Bretta. Bretta did something. He knows why my neighbor used the N-word on me. Apparently, it's because the neighbor found out that I was on the sunshine list. Unfortunately, at that time, I wasn't. So you're gonna have to try again with that one. And if in your world that's okay, then maybe you need to have some things looked at.
So here's the thing is, we had a similar situation. Our neighbor, as wacky as he is, he went rogue. So one day, his child would come over to our house and we'd babysit them. When they went away, we'd babysit their dog, and we did everything. And then one day we wanted to, instead of having a patch of grass down the side of our house, we wanted to interlock it and make it a walkway to the back.
The one on his side.
On
Joining
his side.
his, yeah.
Well, did that not set him off? He said, "Why are you going to do that?" Because he has a window on the side of his house, and he says, "You guys are going to stand out there and look in our window and
my wife.
and smoke cigarettes and just stare at my wife."
And
he
we don't smoke.
And we don't smoke. And where'd you get that from? Like, I don't want to talk about what your wife looks like. I just don't want to talk about it. But dude, I don't think this is going to happen. And then anyways, so now he hates us. So what happened?
Wait.
COVID.
Did you
With
build
a passion.
Did you build the patio, the walkway?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Everybody has a walkway
he-
the other side of the
he
house.
Absolutely hates us. So there were some strange things. His kid would come over for lunch or whatever. We would say what you call grace or whatever before you eat us the food, whatever it is. He would plug his ears. He's not allowed to listen. right? Well, it's just little strange things like that. But afterwards, he's not allowed over. Now he hates us. Everyone hates us because we interlocked the side of our house. So it was during COVID. We were bored as anything, so we're figuring out what are we going to do. So I said, you know what? I want sunflowers. The sunflowers that grow, the big giant ones. So I researched, found two, went out and bought these two sunflower pots. Had one on one side of the house and one on the other side of the house. Went out one day, it's gone. It's on the ground there, but I look at it and it's sharp. Like it's not like a rabbit chewed it or something. It's a sharp cut, and I'm like, this is strange. Never thought anything of it, right? Our BMW
Put an X in
had
the
an X and a scribble
Scratch
on
in
it,
it.
and on the front. Now it was on the front of the car. Now the thing is, this guy obviously isn't the brightest, because if he wanted to blame it on somebody else, he would have done it on the back, because people walking by the street, they would just key it or do it on the back. They're not going to walk up to the front of the car, do it there, and then run away. So it was there, but I didn't catch it. I didn't understand. I didn't know where it happened. It could have happened at somewhere else, and then I didn't notice it, and whatever, because I just noticed it that day. So that was strange. And then the BMW had to go in the shop to get fixed. When we did, they gave us this black van. So we came. The black van had the same marking
wasn't
on
even
it,
ours.
in the same place at the front. And when I went back, they gave me crap for it. And then and so I didn't understand. I still couldn't figure it out, right? And this is all after this paving. And then finally, we moved the sunflower seed from the other side to this side where we built our garden.
Yeah.
Came up, it was cut again. So I called out my family. I called them out and I said, guys, come here. You've got to see this. It makes no sense to me. Look at this. How did this happen? Did an animal do this? What happened? And they look at it, they go, no, that was cut. Everybody agreed it was cut. The guy cut my 2 sunflower seeds and scratched my cars. That's when I realized, right, that it was him that scratched the cars, because one, the way they're parked, you have to be coming from the front direction to go to that part. And this is what the guy has done to us. So I was gonna get him back, but it's just wrong to continue that. But honestly, it takes almost every ounce of me. I kind of wish in this particular situation, I was married to someone else, because she wouldn't let me do that. She would probably report me to the police. So I can't do nothing. I have to swallow it as a man.
There's no video evidence or anything like that?
No, we
No,
put
but
videos
after
up
that,
now.
Mike, our videographer, came over and installed some.
Every inch of the house has video. If a rabbit goes on it, then we see the rabbit. That's what happens. Leaves fall, and we get to see the leaves fall now. So.
Wow.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, some people are
We got some more.
built different. Yeah, I'll go through some of the ones that came in a bit earlier. So from Katie. Katie says, hey to the real estate show. I did a lot of research on this. The real estate market will always have human interaction, but it will be less and less and less. It's time to move on, since everything is going towards technology. It just makes common sense to get into that heavily. Everything in life will be with AI. That's it, pure and simple. Get out while the getting out is good. Move on.
Yeah, sure.
I think everything can go more towards technology.
Yes.
Yes. However, you're still gonna have someone behind the technology, and those who learn how to use it properly are those are the ones who are gonna benefit from it. So, I think it's with any industry you're in. Like, for example, with copywriting, people who make sales letters, whatever, you can go into ChatGPT right now and say, write me a sales letter. Mm-hmm. But it's not gonna have all the nuances and all the different things. It'll write you the basic thing, but if you want to stand out, at least for now, maybe as it gets better and better, yes. But I still think there will always be a little bit of human interaction that's behind it to fine tune those things. So
I think it'll get better and better and be able to be less, because I mean, we use it, and it certainly cannot in its current form in any way replace real estate. I mean, there's nothing that it does that moves into that space. However, there are good tools that help us with parts of the industry. But here's the thing. If it does take over, there's lots of things that we can do as human beings. This is going to augment things, make us better, make us be able to do things faster. Maybe AI will replace relationships. You won't have to have a significant other. You can just use your Google, what's that? The Google, when you call the person, you say, okay, Google, Alexia, or you can use the Alexa, Alexa, and maybe that's the relationship you can have with an actual robot, and who knows, because they're making them too. So who knows what the future brings. However, at this point, people still need care. And as realtors, I know for us, and we talked about this at length a couple of weeks ago, we are working really hard to provide exceptional service to our clients. Something that, who knows, in the future could be replicated, but right now no other real estate agents are doing to the extent that we are doing it. No other real estate agents that we're aware of in our community is getting the results, which is the most important things, which is the dollars that the homeowners get in their pockets. They're not getting them when we're looking and comparing ourselves to the statistics that are available. We are smashing them in terms of getting homeowners more money. And so while we can do that, and while we are able to express that and show that to the public, that will probably be of value. But I definitely do agree that AI is making an impact in many different industries, including real estate.
All right, I'll kind of go back and forth between new and old. We have one that came in from just a Veru.
What was that? What was that, Anthony?
JSTFRU. All right, my thoughts from a faithful listener. Hey, we see Jackie's point, but Jackie, are you showing compassion for the guy that stole Randy's guitar? Or someone that may hurt your girls? Come on, a lot of folks are scum if they do not have a mental illness. They do have free will. You can love your girls, but they are so dangerously confused. It is not a matter of everyone can think It is not a matter of everyone can think that the way they want to, which is true, but it is that they are dangerously misinformed.
I don't know if it's a misinformed. I think it's this. I think what happens is in life is very complicated, and it has many facets to it. And I think that, you could very much want to sympathize with the massive, destroying of what's going, the destruction of what's going on there, and then people dying and things of that nature. That's a hard concept to agree with. In some cases, in spite of what goes on. And so I think if you're against war and against this, then you don't believe in an eye for an eye. You believe that, that one eye is lost, let's stop it there. And I think that that it's very possible to have that as your foundation, and nothing's going to change that, misinformed or not misinformed. You just don't agree with war. And our kids, the way they are, they definitely are not in that realm. They don't believe in an eye for eye. They'd rather you just leave them alone and not really deal a lot with the public. So it's possible that they're totally misinformed, but I'm not sure if that's what it is. I think that their belief system is just very different, and there is no war that they will ever support. Whereas I am different. I will support a war that I think is just. And for me, if we were living maybe 20, 30 years ago, I might beat the crap out of my neighbor. because that's part of my personality. But in today's world, you're not allowed to do that. So I don't. I just let it go. But it hurts. It hurts your manhood. But that's me. Another person would just say, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt me. I just want to leave it alone. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I think that might be where the kids are coming from.
Well, and again, the issue is if you do something, especially with no proof, you're just getting yourself in trouble too. So.
Well, I got all the proof I need.
Well, yeah,
if I was Clint Eastwood, this would go down.
Yeah, proof for you, but we don't live in that world where there's going to be repercussions. So that is the only issue. We got one from James who says, title or subject, brainwashed. The View, I think it's when you're talking about The View. Mentally insane women. Randy is just about the only black man that I know that speaks the truth regarding Trump. Black people in the U.S. hate this guy as they love the Democratic Party, like the blacks here love the Liberal Party. These anti-Trump idiots do not know their history. The Democratic Party has, in history, kept black people from down, who wanted to continue slavery, voted against equal rights, etc. Black people here and in the U.S. are so brainwashed. Trump has done so much for the black race, but as I say, black folks are brainwashed.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even know how to take that comment. I see more and more, even in my circle of friends, there are more black people starting to move over.
I wonder what the percentage is, because I hear this. I hear this all the time, but like, I don't know.
It is. Democrats do have the hold on the black vote. However,
what does the hold mean? What percentage is that?
Well, I'm not sure.
Like if it's 55%.
No, I think it's much larger. However, it's been moving, and I think, especially like I think there's something there for what they're doing to Donald Trump that makes black people specifically be very concerned. And I think because we have been treated unfair. I remember one time when I was an actual supervisor of a clothing store many, many moons ago, and I was downtown Toronto, and this little punk white kid wanted to pick a fight and whatever, and there was three of them, and I thought I could actually beat all three of them because that's how psycho I am. The kid, the policeman happened to drive up. We were right at the corner of Yonge and Dundas, almost. There was an arcade there. And I stopped the policeman and I said, hey, these guys are harassing me and this isn't going to be good. Because I'm actually thinking about, they want to fight, let's go around back. I honestly am thinking like that. And so this isn't good. And the policeman said to me, you're not on your turf. And he told the kids to go away. So obviously, prejudice and stuff like that seriously existed back then. But nowadays, I think that the black people are saying that we have seen this kind of witch hunt on us. And now we're seeing you do it to this gentleman because he's orange. And supposed to be funny, but and they're just saying that, hey, this is exactly what we don't like. This is exactly what we wanted to stop. This is exactly what we're trying to get away from. And the Democrats are like, they're trying to pretend that they're about DEI and all this stuff, but really, it's not. It's actually, there's an evilness about it, and I think it's starting to be seen. I don't really think it matters if you like Donald Trump or not. What does matter is that if they give him the opportunity to find out if the American people want his message or want a different message, but they don't want to take that chance. They only want their message, and therefore we've got to lock him up. We've got to accuse him. We got to get him on 34 counts of this because he signed an NDA and all this weird stuff that now starts to happen. Really strange stuff. And I think that black people specifically, because we've been through it, we could be walking down the street and get arrested because we're black. And it's so easy for them to say, well, there was a black person who committed a crime somewhere, so you fit that description. And all of a sudden you're locked up and you don't see your family for years. And I think the reality of knowing that system exists and now watching it happen live to an orange guy is like, okay, this is real. And I think that the black people are for that shifting over. So that's one reason. And the other reason is, regardless of anything else, you can't say that this guy becomes a dictator. He was already a president and he did really good things. We felt his economy here in Canada. We felt oil prices go down. Every time the guy made a decision, it turned out to be the right decision. And now every time they're making a decision, we're paying big dollars for it. So I don't know. It's that's what I think is happening with the black vote. I think the black vote is starting to say, hey, we're seeing through what you're doing. We've been through that. We don't like it. And you're ramming that down our throats. And that's why I think the black vote is starting to make some moves. But here's the thing. The black vote isn't even going to matter anymore, right?
Well, everyone's mixed.
Because they've brought across, so many new immigrants that the black vote won't matter. I don't think it'll play any role in anything. As a matter of fact, black communities, they have been suppressed. They haven't had a lot of money, and now all the money is being spent on these immigrants that are crossing illegally, and it's.
I don't know. I just think, again, I don't really get into the whole what each party does for us, for black people, but I think one thing though, when people are arguing about it,
I don't think they're going to do anything.
I think people arguing about it should leave the slavery part out of it, and the things that happened 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years ago. How about we talk about the stuff that happened within the last 20 years? And I'm not saying, I have no idea who's done more. So anyways, you can send your hate mail if you like, but because I don't really, I don't care about politics, because I just think it's all BS, as I've said over and over again.
Bingo. I'm right here with you.
I have no,
right now.
I don't really know the history, because I'm just like, I don't trust any of them. I'm gonna do on a daily basis what I need to do to get my family to where I need to be.
I'm with
Simple
you,
as that,
Anthony.
right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I can't control what they do. I can vote for them. They can say what they're gonna say. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do
They're all the
so I
same.
get where I want to go.
They don't really do what they say they're going to do, so.
So in a few days, capital gains tax is going to kick in, and Canadians who don't follow politics are going to be paying a bigger price for their retirement. Justin Trudeau is trying to pretend that this doesn't affect average Canadians, but it does affect average Canadians, because average Canadians, don't forget, the government took away all that retirement crap a long time ago and put in RSPs and all this stuff instead. And so job security and all that crap went out the window, so they started doing their own investments. And now, when they want to take down their investment to retire, they're going to be dinged with higher capital gains tax. And we voted this government in, so we need to vote them back out, so that, I don't blame the government right now for raising taxes, because they have to pay for all the silliness that they've done. But they need to stop doing this silliness. That's what else? Because I want to get on the market.
Okay, let's do one last one that was good. There's a bunch, but they're gonna lead us down rabbit
Well,
holes.
do them quick.
Okay. There's no quick with
But
you.
then you can't talk about them, just let them read them all.
I can talk about them if I want to. You're not the
Not,
boss.
and
of me.
have
Alright.
quickness.
You're not the boss.
From Grace, misinformed agreed. It's not sympathy, it's being misinformed. As the brilliant minds say in the world, if you're not a liberal in your youth, you do not have a heart. If you are still a liberal in your adulthood, you do not have a brain. So
Yeah, I've heard that one.
You can't win
Next
either way.
email.
be careful from Chuck. To your black and minority listeners, if they can do it to Trump, they can do it for you. They can do it for you just for being black or a minority. You all better wish that Trump comes back. He was against all of that crap. Be careful what you wish for. Oh, yes, we're American friends.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Which one? Andrew? Andrew says, "Hey, we know that Hey, we know what Anthony means when he says that all politicians are full of crap, and we agree. But again, you have to elect the lesser of the two evils, and the liberals are not it. But black people love the liberals and the Democratic Party. When you vote like that, you are ignorant." What is the black population in like?
It's
what-
small.
It's like it's like
Small.
what? Like,
But it's kind of like a swing vote thing,
okay.
right? It's like a swing vote thing, really.
I would like to know what is the white population vote for liberals? Is it like?
I think that's like half.
Anybody who works around the government loves liberals.
Yeah. That's because liberals are typically more about big government. So,
Big governments.
and I don't know. I'd like to see government almost abolished, and we just have messengers that go out, carry a message
Okay,
that we
next
vote
email.
on.
We got a home
Got a real one?
Yeah, we got a real email.
We got a real estate email on the real estate show. All right, from Stan. Stan says, "Good morning, real estate folks. I've been doing my research, and these mini homes are looking better in today's economy. No money down, most under 200 grand. Just buy a lot or a piece of land. Land is inexpensive if you do not want to if you do not want to live in a municipality." A lot of syllables. Go north, my friend. Cheers.
I'll agree with that. I mean, it's certainly something we are looking at, not that far north, but definitely having, a plot of land and having a house. I'm not sure about the mini house, but certainly a smaller house, but we're
But you know
getting
what?
older.
You could do 2 mini homes together.
Yeah, you could do 2 mini homes.
I
and
mean,
have-
I was looking, remember the one I showed you
Or
the other
3?
day? Absolutely phenomenal.
But that wasn't a mini home.
It was considered one, but it was like a 2-story, so you're like,
Two-story, and it was
everything you're
spread out.
sleeping
It was
is,
gorgeous.
and you got one from Emma, I guess the last.
And finally from Emma. Emma says, from the Toronto Star, "It's more expensive to buy a Toronto home now than in January, even after the Bank of Canada rate cut." Those are two kind of different things, but
That's interesting. So that was the Toronto Star. So I wonder why they're saying that. Let's just take a look.
she's saying the cost. Well, the prices have gone up since January. So even with that small rate cut, your mortgage price might have.
Oh, I see.
Well, what they're claiming, the Toronto Star, is the city's average home price has increased by 140,000 since January.
Yeah.
Wiping out any benefit from the central bank's cut rate.
So we're looking.
I think basically what she's saying is, for new home buyers, they're not really. Yes, they're going to pay less for the house a little bit, depending on how. I'm not sure how much the rates have actually gone down for the variable rate mortgages, but you might save a little bit what you would have paid for the same price home now versus back then, but you're paying more because the prices have gone up since January.
So January,
Yeah.
the average price is 1.025, and now it's 1.165. So you're looking at $140,000
That's what
increase, and I think that's what she's kind of referring
Yes,
to.
and that's exactly what she said. But listen, what is your prediction on when the market may become a little healthy again? I don't think it's going to happen until next year, late next year,
Yeah, I'm not.
before like the interest rates are really.
I don't think we're ever
And-
going to have a healthy
No, but I mean
market.
the interest rates being like substantial.
Listen, I don't think it matters what happens to the interest rate. You can drop them to 0, and the prices of homes are still extremely expensive.
Mm-hmm.
The prices of homes have still outpaced
Because the
our
demand is
incomes
crazy.
because of immigration. Immigration is just too invasive for the number of properties that we're creating. And so it's just not.
And believe it or not, I mean, I know a lot of people think immigration, it's really taxing on the economy, but I mean, from what I'm seeing is a lot of these immigrants coming in, they have money and they're buying homes and they're contributing to the
That is,
economy.
in essence, one of the problems.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. But a lot of people, like, they're contributing to the economy.
They
a lot of them
are.
are IT people, young professionals, like.
Yeah, but I agree with you there. I think that that Canada kind of often does a good job at vetting the immigrants that are coming in and things of that nature. The problem isn't if they're doing a good job at vetting them. The problem is that we just don't have the housing for them. That's in essence the problem. And so then when they come, if they do have a lot of money, then they are competing against the people who have been here all their lives trying to save the money to buy the house. And that's really kind of where, there's an issue. Did you want to do a buzz before I ramble on here?
Yeah, I have I guess a few of them. I got two.
Okay.
First one is kind of like an interesting one where basically this Ontario homeowner basically got confronted with somebody who basically started paving his driveway without him giving any go-ahead for that. So basically he just came with his tools and he came outside and half his driveway was gone. Right? So the guy didn't...
Hold on, say that again. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Where you just said it was new, right?
Yeah.
I saw
So
that.
someone came and...
I think they knocked on the door, he didn't agree to anything, and they just started ripping up his driveway. Right? And they're using Royaltown Construction Limited. So they weren't actually... Royaltown Construction Limited is an actual place. They had the same similar cards, a lot of stuff, and they had like these small machines that they started doing stuff. So like, basically, I guess they started doing it. He came out, was like, what the hell's going on? I think they left. And the crazy thing is, they left one of their like small pavers there, and it was by his front house, so he put it in his garage. And I think a couple days later, the construction company came back saying this guy stole their property, and with the police, and he's like, I'm not giving it back. I'm using it as leverage. It was like they did damage to my house. Right? I want them to either fix it or whatever. And he got arrested.
Yes.
He got arrested because he wouldn't give it back.
Right.
And the guy still got their tool back. So I don't really know.
That makes sense though to me.
What, the arresting part?
Yeah, because he has to give it back. Like he could have said, you know what, I put it in my garage to save it because they forgot it and they left it there and it would have been stolen. But when you say that I'm going to hold your stuff until you do this, that's a problem.
But where is his justice?
But his justice is different. I think one's a criminal act and the other one's a civil act.
Yeah.
And you can't balance a civil act.
So I had my
with
dad.
a criminal
My dad
act.
does construction. He had a similar thing where like he was working with somebody, or he was outsourcing for somebody, so doing work for somebody, and the guy wouldn't pay him. But he was the guy that had given him some of his tools, and again I can't remember the workaround how he got it. Where like he had possession, but I think you're right. It's the way you address why having it or whatever. So he was able to keep the guy's thing until.
You gotta be smart.
Yeah. So I don't think he ever got the money, but he got a nice tool out of it. So
for that gentleman,
But
he
how
had
to
to.
help? But I can understand. I'm sorry, Randy. I can understand them starting to rip up somebody's driveway that has said yes, but the guy didn't even say yes, and they started like. How is that benefiting them? Yeah. Now he's going to pay them to fix it? I don't think so. I'm going to pay somebody else to fix it, not you who did that to me.
You'd have to sue them. Yeah, that's a tough situation. But you also have to follow the law. You have a civil act that you're going to have to take to court versus a
I hear you, but
it's a criminal act where you're stealing their stuff.
Did you steal it? They left it on your property.
It doesn't make it yours.
But to me, it should be kind of like when if you're committing a crime and then something bad happens to you in that crime, you can't charge the other person because you're committing a crime.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that should again. It's not. I know it's not the case, but this situation should be something like that, where like.
But it's not a crime.
It's a crime.
What they were doing, ripping up his driveway.
That's a crime.
No.
That's the face
That's
of
his personal
So you're telling me I
property.
can go and take off your garage and it's not a crime? Like move it down?
That sounds like a civil dispute. It sounds like, they believe that they had a verbal contract. I'm just saying. I'm
But
not
the
trying to
guy
be the
told
devil's
them no.
advocate. Well,
How is that a verbal contract?
I don't know, Jack. What I can tell you is that I can guarantee you the construction company is saying that he said for us to go ahead.
But they're not the real construction company. They're using another company's name and everything.
I don't. Well, what does that matter? If the guy,
They're misrepresenting themselves, first of all.
Okay, well that's
Okay, here, I'll read the first of this one line. So basically, on May 14th, the paving company knocked on his door and made him an offer to his wife to replace their driveway. But while she was calling him to the side, the company began digging into a section. So basically, they just knocked on the door, started talking, she didn't say anything, and they started ripping up. So it's...
And they had the nerve to
So
come back.
what does the construction company say? What is their?
They're not even... It doesn't say much about them.
He said, she
basically,
said, probably.
In the whole article, it talks about the actual company heard about it, they came, and the guys just started walking off. Like they decided, like they just packed up and left. So like they left, and then for the whole tour, they came back like the next day or something for the tour. But like once they got confronted, they just left. So they're not in the article here. And again, they're literally impersonating another company. They have cards of this other company that they're using.
Pretty scamish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who came back? The original company or the
Yeah.
fake company?
The fake company, because
fake company.
yeah,
There was
because
but I
no
thought you
original.
said-
There
No, I
was
said-
no original company.
no, because what happened was so basically the people that started calling the actual company, because that's the name. So I guess maybe they Google search, and the guy's like, we're in like some other city, like
That's
we're not
criminal.
here. Huh?
That's criminal.
Yeah, so we're not here. So then they came to go see what's going on, and then they confronted these guys, and these guys started walking off. Like this basically started. Like, the fake guy started to walk off and just dispersed like ants. So
That's crazy.
But we got
What's the next buzz?
Well,
Oh, you got another email?
well, no, just from Chuck, he said, I think he's talking about tiny homes. He says the Titan homes are the bomb. So let's check out the Titan homes before the next show. I will, and see what they look like.
all right, so one more quick one. Well, I'll be real quick. So basically, I'm talking about mortgages and how this one person is basically has to sell his home because once it renews, it's gonna go up to $2,000. And it was actually over the week I was reading about this, like with mortgages, like a lot of people have the fixed mortgages, they're fine. With variable mortgages, what happened with a lot of these mortgages, if you had a fixed variable mortgage, meaning your price stayed the same, what's happened with these guys is they're paying whatever they're paying, not seeing these increases happen. But what's happening is that now instead of paying, let's say $1,000 for if we pay $1,000 for a mortgage, let's say 300 goes to interest, $700 goes to principal, or sorry, I had it backwards. Anyways, what's happening is that because of all these increases, they're now paying maybe $50 in principal, and the rest is going interest.
Or nothing.
All right, and then what's going to happen now is when they renew, they're thinking, okay, I had this nice $2,000 payment, that's fine. But now, once they renew, whether it's fixed or variable, that payment's going from, say, $2,000 up to $4,000, or whatever it is.
Yep, 3,500,
And-
4,000, yeah.
And they
Yeah.
might have thought, oh, we're fine, but no,
But they're not.
They're not, right? So because of this, a lot of people might have to make some tough decisions to kind of figure it out.
Not
Yeah,
might
I was
have to, they
talking to,
will
uh,
have to.
Yeah.
And it's not just that group of people, it is also the fixed mortgages. It is also the people who have
Yes.
negotiated their mortgage payment remaining something they can afford
I was talking
during
to a
this period of
gentleman.
time.
He lives out here in Oshawa, and his daughter lives at like Eslington and out that way. And he said her mortgage went up on her home $2,000, and the only way she's able to keep it is he's helping her. He's giving her $3,000 a month just so she can keep her home. Like, I mean, how does the government think this is okay?
This isn't the government, this is the Bank of Canada.
Okay, which is run by who?
It's a crown
Who put the
corporation,
guy in
it's a
there?
special crown corporation, and Justin Trudeau appointed Tiff Macklin, I agree.
So-
The thing is that, guys, I don't even know how to tell you this, I try to tell you, I am not an economist, I'm just a simple realtor, not the brightest one is at that.
That's not true.
But what I can tell you is, the engine that performed this disgusting act that's caused all this problem and is the majority problem with the interest rate. There's one problem was the shutting down of all the businesses and destroying of the supply chain, but the other problem was the quantitative easing. And that is, we have to teach our children that maneuver so that they are ready for it the next time that the governments do this. Because when they do this, this is the outcome. There is no other outcome from it. You can't pour a bunch of money in through the banking system, spread it through an economy, make the economy, when everybody's sitting at home, the richest time in history, and it not have any effect whatsoever on our inflation rate or deflation of money. It's impossible. This was all predicted prior to Tiff Macklin performing this act, and it was predicted in the House of Parliament. Andrew Scheer had went through this, and so did Poilievre, both talking to him about it, and Tiff Macklin, the governor of the Bank of Canada, just excused it all as, no, none of that's going to happen, none of that's going to happen, and it all happened. That's where we're at. And the fact that these people have to get, 30%, 40%, even 100% increase on their mortgage payment, that simply is just called pain. That's what the Bank of Canada calls it. Oh, well, we realize people are going to experience some pain. That's what they're calling it when people are going bankrupt to that. It's really so unfortunate. It didn't have to take place. And it is, you have to teach your children to watch out for, because it's really important, because it will affect their lives. This is all going to simmer down, and as Canadians and Americans and everything, everybody's going to be fine. And if it doesn't happen in our kids' lives, which it probably will when they get older, it's definitely going to happen in their kids' lives. So you've got to get them to watch for it and to be able to identify it. Go ahead, Anthony or Jack. Did you guys have?
I just had more, basically more of that, where like another article was talking about like how a lot of these banks have basically amortization in Canada is supposed to be 25 years, but because of all these increases and because banks don't want to just lose this money if they basically, because they can't pay, so what they've done is they increased the amortization for a lot of these homes over the legal amount of 25 up to like 35 years and even plus. And even with these mortgages too, once they come up for renewal, it's going to be a rude awakening for a lot of people if they haven't been paying attention to what's going on.
I will say this though, one thing, and I've gotten a lot of hate mail for this one, you remember, but one of the things that I did appreciate that Justin Trudeau did is he did say to the banks that we're going to give you some special leverage to be able to accept these people and not bankrupt them. But how that rolls out, we're yet to see. But the fact that was even spoken or thought of, I think, is a positive thing.
Just for some numbers, over a fifth, 21.3% of BMO's Canadian mortgage portfolio has amortization longer than 35 years. So 20%. Yeah.
Which is not even. But you know what? There's a lot of people who say, the 40-year amortizations and all that thing is bad. Well, I have a different take on it. I think it's a good thing to pay off your home. However, it's also a good thing to have a home. And if the only way is through the 40-year amortization, then it's certainly better than not having a home, being homeless, or
it's a privilege now to own a home.
Having to rent.
It really is a privilege. That's my feeling. Like I feel pretty privileged that I have a roof over my head, and a lot of people don't, and it's not because of their doing. I mean, a lot of people have struggled to get into a home, and now they're losing them.
Yep.
And not only that, not only are they losing their home, but now they got to go and pay the exact same rent. Because rent is like, well, not the exact same, but rent is absolutely ridiculous. And try getting rent somewhere, it's crazy.
So you guys took up so much time in the show, I don't even get to do mine.
Well, the emails are just continuously pouring in.
I got one from Anne, and Anthony calls himself a teacher, and he does not know Black history. Is he really Black?
Yeah.
His comments are a cop-out. He will still vote Liberal, a cop-out. If Anthony really cared about his race, he would not vote Liberal.
That's okay.
I'm a math and physics teacher, so I'll go back to Black history class and try to learn those things for next time, man.
And what's this one?
Oh, here you go. This one's on me. So.
Jackie, do your research. Most of the immigrants are not successful, educated, and adding any value to Canada. Online, 62% of the people immigrating here are poor, come from third world countries, and have no benefit to Canada. Do your research. Well, if that's the case,
the ones we're seeing.
If that's immigrants, or is he talking about refugees as well?
Well, either way, if that's the case, then it shouldn't have any effect on our housing market, because they couldn't afford homes anyway. So
bingo. See, Anthony, he knows what he's talking about.
So the thing is, if that's the case, we wouldn't be seeing all the immigrants buying homes with very large deposits, if not sometimes cash.
Here's one too, Anthony. Here's another one for you.
Go ahead, and then we need to.
Then we're out. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Hey, we know. Hey, I think the read this already.
Did we?
Anyways, hey, we know what Anthony means when he says that all politicians are full of crap, and we agree. But again, but again, we have this one already.
Oh, we did, sorry.
Together, Jackie.
So one
That's
more
over.
time, if you want to join in the promotion and get a spa day with Drip and Lux, or as a father you want 2 rounds with a golf cart and 18 holes.
Just head to
For free?
yourteampros.com/giving-back. And as always, it's been your home, your money, and our lives on realityradio101.com. Have a great weekend.
Bye for now.
Happy Father's Day,
Happy
everyone.
Father's
Happy Father's
Day.
Day.
Thank you for listening to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy, Jackie, and Anthony, right here on Reality Radio 101.